Hi, it's Majo John Madden in El Diamante, Mexico. And I'm doing the long version of the overview for my new course, How to Be Happy. I did a short version, I'll put a link to that, but this is going to be a little longer, like maybe an hour and a half. No, maybe more like 8 minutes. More like 8 minutes instead of 1 minute. Changing your life so that you're more happy involves an inner component and an outer component. The inner component is your mind, the thoughts you think, consciousness. The outer component is your body and the things you do and say in the world. In the inner world, the mind, the thoughts you think, Funkadelic, one of my favorite groups that my son, who's a hip-hopper, taught me to like. They've got a song that goes, "Free your mind and your ass will follow." I think that's true. The less tension you have in your mind, the freer you are to move, breathe, dance. Your body responds to the thoughts you think. There's an active part to that, which is specifically thinking positive thoughts, like walking around the world, but using a lens like, I like this, I like that. I had a chubby little chihuahua who was so adorable and such a sweet dog that probably over the course of traveling for a year and a half, at least 100 kids said to me, "I like your dog. I like your dog." We heard it so many times. Kids do all that very naturally. The non-active or surrendering part of handling your consciousness or your inner world, to me, is about turning it over, giving it to God. Lots of people have talked about that. I use it all the time. Like before I pushed the button to start this video, I said, "God, give me the words. I don't have the right words. Give them to me." So the outer world, what you do with your body, actually in both areas, a dialectic is Brene Brown, who I call the wise woman for our time, talked about the dialectic between open-heartedness, which to me was a no-brainer. That's all I had wanted for years. And solid boundaries, which was less intuitive for me. I wasn't as good at saying no. I wasn't as good at being assertive. So in the area of what you do, saying no can be as surprising as back in Asheville, shortly before, a while before COVID was hitting and we didn't know it. There's big trucks here, big trucks. This is a carretera in Mexico. It's a very well paved road, which is not true of all the roads in Mexico, that runs from the US down to Central America and gets lots of traffic. So one of the things I'm going to do to improve my life is to get away from that road after 2.5 months of having my car broke down here. So I surprised myself in February of 2020 by punching a guy. I'm a PhD clinical psychologist, a thinker, and as a teenager had been kind of a coward. I avoided fights. This surprised me dramatically. It also involved a surrender component because the idea for punching that guy came directly from God. My friend Eric had been grievously insulted by a neighbor of mine. Eric's a big, strapping black guy who I had taken in off the street because I loved his music and then decided I loved him. And when he turned up homeless, I invited him to stay with me for a couple months. And when that guy insulted Eric got up to my apartment and he was shaking like a leaf. Another black man had intervened and kept Eric from hitting the guy, which he was very well capable of doing because he's a big, strong guy. But he was frustrated and enraged. And I said, okay, we'll do something, Eric. We'll do something. We'll ruin his reputation in the building. Well, that happened naturally, but I knew that wasn't going to assuage Eric's rage. We'll take it to the office. We'll get the management. And that was bullshit, and I knew it. And I swear the thought was given to me by Spirit. I said, Eric, I got it. And Eric said, yeah, what are we going to do? And I said, not we. I got this one. Well, what are you going to do? I'm going to beat him up. And we both laughed hysterically. And he said, when was the last time you did that? I said, well, not in this lifetime, but I've got a good feeling about this. And I did. And I didn't demolish the guy, but I landed a punch and got arrested and never did any time over it. But it was a huge thing in my life and a solid boundary. It involved me saying no to that guy. And this was a couple months before the George Floyd killing, before all that happened. But what I did was, when I had Alan cornered in the parking lot, I said to him, Alan, it's 2020, you can't pull that shit anymore. So that was great. That was great. And another one, in terms of solid boundaries, that shocked me, because I'm a kind of a pacifist in many ways, aside from punching the one guy, but a lover of all life. I like to say that I've taken the Bodhisattva pledge, that I won't rest until all beings are at peace. In this little pueblo of El Diamante, there are 3 street dogs that I have taken under my wing that I love dearly. This is Jason, and Mufasa was around here somewhere. 3 street dogs. And a very big dog who looked a lot like Jason here, but did not have the white tail. Younger, stronger. I also called him the Trojan horse dog because he seemed like a good dog. And he hung out with us for a few days, even slept under my van along with Jason and Mufasa. But one day over food, a big fight broke out, and he turned into the killer dog, and truly had the killer instinct. He was not going to stop until somebody was dead. I stopped that first fight with a soft toe shoe directly to his face, and it was enough to stop him. But he kept coming back. And I knew I was going to be leaving soon, and these dogs would be in danger. And I said, I have to kill that dog. The thought surprised me, but I knew it was right. Mexicans are so sweet and nonviolent, and none of them has guns. And I knew it was up to me. So the third major fight happened in the backyard, right back there where my van was parked for many weeks. And he was attacking the little corgi, Mufasa. It was just one-on-one, and that dog was going to die quite soon. And throwing rocks didn't help. I hit him with a big rock, and he just started to move towards me very aggressively, so I knew he would not hesitate to attack a human and probably kill a human. So I did something I had thought about. I had a little fish filleting knife in the back of my van. I went and grabbed it, and if it had been just him on me, I don't know, I might not have done so well. But little Mufasa bit him in the flank, and when he turned towards Mufasa, I stabbed him in the back. Didn't think it was enough of a knife to kill him, but days later somebody found the body. He had bled to death. Well, you don't have to do shit like that. That's pretty strong. But it's a way of letting you know you may end up surprising yourself in terms of the ferocity with which you hold boundaries. It left me shaken, but mostly shaken like, who did that? How could I have done that? And feeling peaceful, and like I had done what God told me to do, and with a whole new sense of myself. Like, wow, I'm more than I thought I was. And that's really a lot of what this course is going to be about, is finding out who you really are and discovering that you are more than who you thought you were, and also less in the sense it's not all about you, and you are part of something much bigger. That's where the strength really comes from. You're a part of everything. You're a part of life. And down here in Mexico, people are so sweet and spiritual. And when you ask them, how you doing? ¿Cómo está? The classic answer is, muy bien, I'm good. Gracias a Dios. Thank you, God. They give credit to God. And I'm going to do that right now over this video, which we'll see if it stands up, but it feels like God did good. God gave me some good words, buen palabras. All right.